Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meet the European Economics Association Education Committee series. And today we have with us Marco Paccagnella from the OECD with us. And thank you so much, Marco, for joining us today.
Thanks for you for the invitation.
So, starting with a round of introductions, could you briefly introduce yourself, your research interests, what made you join the Education Committee, as well as a fun fact about yourself?
I'm Marco Paccagnella. I'm an Italian national. I work at the OECD, at the Directorate for Education and Skills. In terms of background, I got my PhD at Bocconi University back in 2012 now, quite a long time ago. My research interests are in applied, I'm an applied macroeconomist working on labor economics and mainly on the economics of education. And so, well, that's why when I received the invitation of joining the Education Committee, I accepted very, very gladly because I mean, they are just my research interests. So I mean, I found it very, very, I'm very happy to contribute to the work of this committee. And well, a fun fact about myself is that maybe that I'm the only member of the Education Committee that has not really teaching experience, but I have research experience concerning teaching and education. Yeah.
That sounds great. And so what do you think the value of the Education Committee is?
I think that the role of the committee is really to reflect on issues surrounding teaching economics. I think it can play a great role in putting economists together and reflecting and sharing best practices and encouraging this sharing of best practices. And I think it can be very valuable, especially for junior colleagues that are just starting in their academic career.
Yeah, that's great. And from your research in education economics, what is the biggest challenge in economics education that you have found?
Well, that's maybe not really from my research, but it is certainly a challenge from my professional experience, which again, I mean, it's not in academia, so I think I can bring this different perspective into the committee. I would say that the biggest challenge is related to the kind of natural insularity of academic fields. That's true for economics, but that's true for most other academic fields. This is maybe something that people that stay in academia risk not to realize, especially, I mean, maybe they realize it, but rather late in their careers, because at the beginning of your academic careers, you just focus on getting tenure. And so you have really very, very, very few incentives in terms of exploring things outside your narrow field of research. But again, I mean, more experienced researchers and people that work outside of academia, I think it's something that they realize pretty quickly. Yes, I mean, I have the feeling that, I mean, economists are increasingly likely to end up working outside of academia, you say in not only in more traditional policy jobs like the OECD or central banks, the World Bank, big institutions, but more and more so also in the private sector. And when you take up those kinds of jobs, you are very likely to be confronted with people, I mean, that do work in the social science. They are social scientists, but coming from different fields, they often speak different languages. Of course, I'm thinking about psychologists, sociologists, but also statisticians. And I think, I mean, I think it would be really great to see more integration within the social sciences for these reasons.
Yeah, that's great. And just following up from that, what role do you think the Education Committee plays in solving the challenges you've mentioned?
Well, that's a bit hard to predict. But I mean, again, the Education Committee is quite a new body. So we have this task of organizing a session within the Conference of the European Economic Associations, and well, I think we should use that the slot that we have to raise awareness about this issue. Again, the committee started was constituted just last year. Then last year, of course, everything was all our attention was taken by the pandemic. So the session that we organized was really about the experience, how people cope with online teaching because of COVID. I hope that as we go back to more normal times, we will have a bit more time to reflect about longer term issues. Of course, part of that will be there will be new issues that arise because of the pandemic, but I think I hope that we will be able to pick up more other topics.
Yeah, that sounds great. And just to end the interview, so as the researcher, what are some major developments you've seen in the field of economics education?
Well, that's easy. I think that the major things that has changed in the last 15 or 20 years, thinking about when I was a student, I mean, the programming skills, computer skills is taken up a much greater role in economics education. I mean, not just at the graduate level, but more and more so at the undergraduate level. And of course, this reflects both the fact that economics is increasingly an empirical discipline, but also because that's the kind of skills that the labor market request from economists.
Thank you so much, Marco, for joining us today, and it was great. Yeah.